Good afternoon, Daria.
Good afternoon, Josephine.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So we're just going to start by introducing ourselves. My name is Josephine Stroker from Leitrim Volunteer Centre. And you might introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Daria Mazina. I'm a Leitrim Volunteer Centre engagement Ukrainian worker as well. Originally, I'm from Ukraine and I'm here in Ireland for 1 year and a half with two of my daughters.
Very good. And so you work with Leitrim Volunteer Centre?
Yes.
And what is your role in Leitrim Volunteer Centre?
I'm engagement worker, so I engage people to volunteer. And first I show my example how to volunteer. Yeah, I explain Ukrainian people. I mostly work with Ukrainians, newcomers, refugees. How to volunteer in Ireland, because it's something different than in Ukraine, and I explain difference. I explain why it is important here in this society, what gives it to me personally, and I have a lot of, and I see a lot of advantages and bonuses of this. So I engage our people to volunteer, to be active in local communities. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So obviously we're sitting in a lovely podcasting studio here in Leitrim Village, County Leitrim in Ireland. And this is quite unique because we don't have a podcasting studio for the community. Could you talk to me about how you feel podcasting would be a useful tool to encourage volunteering?
Personally, for me, it's always interesting to hear real stories, not just written by somebody, but created with somebody's imagination. Yeah, to hear real stories of real people, and they are so close. They can be very close to your experience or your view of world. Yeah, and it's interesting to hear it and interesting to put it on your life, just to how it works. Yeah,
I know you work. You do quite a lot of volunteering work yourself with the Carrick-on-Shannon Tidy Towns,
yeah.
And I was talking to you about it yesterday, and you were telling me how the Tidy Towns is organised and how well it's organised, and I was thinking, well, that would be fantastic if we could get the Carrick-on-Shannon Tidy Towns to talk to other groups about how they recruit volunteers, how they engage volunteers, how they train volunteers, how they support them, how they manage them, how they keep them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you think that's something that would be possible for us to do in Leitrim?
I think yes, and Carrick-on-Shannon volunteers, Tidy Towns volunteers are a great example for me. It was the first group which I joined, actually. First local group which I joined in my new place, in my new surrounding, and it was very interesting to see Irish society as it is, not official, but how people communicate with each other, unofficial, how they communicate with new people, what they are doing to appreciate volunteers, to appreciate them to come back, not to do once volunteering, just once or twice, yeah, but make people come back and to be very motivated to continue to do something for local communities. I think Carrick Tidy Towns are a great example of this, and they are very friendly. And I think it's a very good place for integration, for first integration, because you feel very welcome. You feel that you have a role, you're important in this community. You can do something good. You can say thank you with your actions to community which hosts you, actually, which gives you bread and shelter, and you can give something back. And it's important. So I think it would be great if we can invite Tidy Towns leaders and ask them how they manage it.
Absolutely. So if we were to have, for instance, a podcast once a week or once every 2 weeks, and we could invite different good examples, different models of good volunteer management, leaders to come and talk about their experience and to get them to encourage other voluntary organisations to take on volunteers. And especially to take on volunteers from different communities, not just the Irish community, but from the Ukrainian community, from the African community, from the Middle Eastern community, from all over the world, really. Because the more diversity we have, the better. It's good for the Irish. It helps us to broaden our minds a little bit more.
And Tidy Towns example is good because a lot of towns, I see now that they have Tidy Towns communities, bigger or smaller, but this experience is common for Irish towns and Irish villages. So, if we can invite such groups for interview to share their experience, their view, how they see newcomers, who we are for them, actually. It will be interesting to hear.
And could you see yourself doing a podcast in Ukrainian and encouraging Ukrainian volunteers to get involved and to interview members of the Ukrainian community? Is that something you would like to do, to interview other people on your podcast?
I think, it's good to ask people what's volunteering for them. It's good point of reflection. It's good point of sharing experience. It's good point to invite people with personal example, to inspire somebody. If somebody will hear similar story about their life, and okay, I can do it as well. So it can be a good idea.
And sometimes the whole concept of volunteering seems a little bit like volunteering is something that special people do, and it sounds a little bit nebulous or vague, but sometimes I think it's better if people say, well, kind of, this is what I want you to do. Would you help me create this new community garden in Manor Hamilton? That makes sense, because at least people know exactly what's expected of them. Or will you help me do a litter pick on Sunday morning? It's clearer, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it's good to have particular roles for those who just have a desire to help or desire to integrate somehow, but they don't want to, they don't know exactly what can I do, how can I do it. And if you have a list of roles, or if you have managers who can help, or people who can show again with their own example, it's good.
Exactly. And it's also about finding what are people's interests, what are the things they like to do, what skills do they have, what skills do they have that might be useful to organisations. Like, I know you're an artist and you have used your skills quite a lot, especially with Leitrim Volunteer Centre and lots of other programmes as well, the DOC and the Tidy Towns, and probably many more that I'm not even aware of. So it enables you to kind of continue with your practice, your artistic practice, and to develop your practice even further, because you get to use it. Because if you don't use it, you lose it. Isn't that true?
Absolutely. And for me personally, to use my skills, it's like a way of reinvention myself in new surrounding. Because Irish society is different from mine, Ukrainian, which I used to live. So I need to get myself with pieces once more from the very beginning. What I can do. Okay, I can do this. Where can I use my skills? And the best way, the easiest way, it's volunteering. So is it important in this society to have such a skills? For whom I can use these skills? So it's a great demo how to test your skills, actually. Yes. Your knowledges. So I highly recommend volunteering. It's easy and it's free way for yourself to actualize your skills and yourself, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Who I am, what my place, what my role can be in new surrounding.
And of course, we have evidence of your skills all around Carrick-on-Shannon. Benches, wheelbarrows, bus stops.
It's something new for me, actually. I never done it before coming to Carrick-on-Shannon.
Yeah, very good. So, so there was something else. I was going to ask you about Saturday. You have a big event coming up in the market yard. Do you want to tell me about that? Because podcasting, of course, is a great way to advertise upcoming events.
Maybe this podcast will be recorded earlier. Yeah. Okay. So let it be just I would like to share with our information. We had in August our big Ukraine Day, celebrating Independence Day of Ukraine, and 9th of December we will have Ukrainian Christmas celebration, where we will share with our Christmas traditions, and I find them very interesting for Irish people because some of them close to Irish ancient traditions, and I see that now in Irish society it's a big interest to re-rise old traditions, ancient traditions, and so in Ukrainian society as well we try to go back to our roots, to find out who we are, why we are different, and why we are not different, why we are all human beings, and celebrate differences and similarities.
Okay.
So this, our Christmas event, will be about Christmas carols, and especially about one of them. You know it very well, Carol of Bells.
Yes.
But not a lot of people know that actually it's ancient Ukrainian folk song, which became popular 100 years ago in Western world. And we will perform it in original version. Wow. We are so proud to do it.
That's fantastic. That's wonderful. Unfortunately, we don't have any time left because I would have loved to hear you sing it. Actually, we may have a few moments. So this is a podcast that really is about promoting community radio. And I think it's a very good tool in terms of getting people to share ideas, hopes, fears, and, you know, just to communicate with each other and to get information out and to promote and to involve themselves in the local community. And so what do you feel about that, Daria?
Volunteering for me here, it's a very big part of my life. And I would like to invite people to join volunteering by this podcast as well. It's a good tool. I would like that more people knew how many people doing something for free just for their community, just because they have free time and desire to do something. And I find Irish society very cooperative, not competitive. Yeah. And volunteering, it's example of cooperation. When you don't do something just for money, just to earn something, you share with your all time, your skills with people who may need it. Maybe, Josephine, you will share with us with your experience of volunteering and with your view of volunteering.
Well, I suppose volunteering for me is about giving back to society. And I think if we didn't have a volunteering culture, our society would be a lot poorer for it. So people are basically giving up themselves for free because they want to, because they love to, and because they want to create a better society. And I think that's the word we want to get out on this podcast, that to promote volunteering as much as possible, and to use a podcast, to use every means of communication. But I think podcasting is particularly effective. Lots of people listen to podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I enjoy podcasts. There's something more, I think, relaxed about podcasting than there is about we'll say a formal radio station or that. It's more informal. It's you're kind of, it's in a relaxed atmosphere, and it's like having a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to listen into other podcasts where people do that, and you feel like you're part of the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if we had a community radio, I think it'd be fantastic. I know we have a regional station, Shannonside, which is very good, but I suppose it doesn't do a huge amount of community broadcasting other than the community notes. And that's a problem with the commercial radio stations. They don't give enough time to community, promoting community events and giving time to community organisations. So I think Leitrim really does need a local community radio station. I know Roscommon have Ross FM, and that's very, very powerful. It's very good. But we don't have anything like that in Leitrim, and I think we desperately need a community radio station in Leitrim.
Yeah, not hearing and listening just about celebrities, known about on all over the world, but to hear something about our local events, our local people, our local superstars.
Our local superstars. Yeah. That's right. I mean, and there's so many of them, superheroes, our local superheroes. We want to hear more about them and from them. And the only way we're going to hear from them is through community radio. So
good way.
Okay, so on that note, thank you very much, Daria, for an interesting conversation, and it was lovely to hear all about your volunteering experience and the wonderful organisations that you're part of.
Thank you. Thank you, Josephine, for your questions. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.